Emma stood in the bridal suite of the Grand Aurora Hotel in Miami, staring at herself in the tall mirror that reached from floor to ceiling. The ivory silk dress hugged her body perfectly, the long train spread behind her like a soft white river. Her best friend, Sarah, fussed with the veil, blinking back tears. "You look insane, Em." "Like, movie star beautiful," Sarah whispered. David's mother, Mrs. Carter, kept squeezing Emma's hand and saying, "Everything is perfect, dear. Absolutely perfect." Bridesmaids laughed, took selfies, and clinked champagne glasses as the late afternoon sun poured through the windows. The room felt full and warm. But inside Emma, there was a cold, empty place where her parents should have been. She had imagined this day since she was a little girl, and in every version, her father walked her down the aisle and her mother cried happy tears. Instead, 3 months ago, her parents had made a choice. And Emma had made hers. Emma was the first child in the Harris family, but no one who knew them would guess that. Her younger brother, Ryan, had always been the center of attention. At every family event, conversations somehow turned to him. Ryan is trying something new. Ryan is starting a business. Ryan is so talented. Emma was the one who got straight A's, worked 2 part-time jobs, and graduated top of her business class. She paid for school mostly on her own. Her parents called her independent, like that meant she needed less love. Ryan barely passed community college, living on their parents' money. When his gym idea failed, it was bad luck. When his crypto idea failed, it was the market. When his life coach phase went nowhere, they praised his bravery for trying. Emma climbed from junior analyst to senior marketing director at a big pharmaceutical company in 7 years. Ryan stayed floating from one half plan to another, always cushioned by their parents' soft hands. Emma met David at a medical conference where her company was showing a new heart medication. He was a calm, focused cardiac surgeon with kind eyes and a dry sense of humor. He asked if she had time for dinner to talk more about the drug's data, and somehow the conversation drifted from clinical trials to favorite movies, childhood stories, and what they both wanted from life. 6 months later, he proposed at a quiet rooftop restaurant, just the two of them, city lights shining below. The ring was simple but stunning, a diamond that caught the light whenever she moved her hand. When Emma said yes, David laughed in pure relief. Her parents hugged them, smiling wide. Her father even said, "I can't wait to walk my daughter down the aisle." For a moment, Emma believed they finally saw her, not just as the responsible one, but as someone worth celebrating. 3 months later, Ryan got engaged to Lily, a sweet but shallow girl Emma found hard to connect with. Lily worked as a dental assistant and spent most of her time filming little videos for social media. Ryan proposed in a noisy chain restaurant with a cheap-looking ring, and their parents reacted like they had just witnessed a royal event. "Our boy is getting married," her mother cried, hugging Ryan like he'd done something amazing. One evening, they all sat at the old dining table in Emma's childhood home to talk wedding plans. Emma had already booked the Grand Aurora Hotel for October 15th, paid deposits, chosen a top Miami caterer, and ordered fancy invitations. Her guest list of 150 people was set. Ryan and Lily wanted a December wedding but had no venue, no budget, and no real plan. That was when her mother smiled tightly and said, "Emma, dear, maybe you could make your wedding smaller." Emma slowly set down her wine glass. "Smaller," she repeated. Her mother folded her hands. "Yes, something more intimate. You don't want to overshadow Ryan and Lily's special day, do you?" Her father nodded. 2 big weddings in one family is a lot. If yours is more modest, it will be easier for everyone. They are just starting out. Emma stared at them. "I've been engaged for a year. I've spent months planning and paying for this. Everything is booked." Her mother's smile thinned. "And we appreciate that you can afford it. But you're older, more mature. You don't need such a big show. Ryan's wedding should be the main event." Emma turned to her brother, hoping he would say this was crazy. He wouldn't meet her eyes. Lily scrolled on her phone. "No," Emma said at last. "I'm not changing my wedding for this." Her mother's voice sharpened instantly. "You're being selfish. Family comes first." The fight that followed tore through the room like a storm. Her mother accused her of being jealous of Ryan. Her father said she was ungrateful and reminded her of everything they'd done, ignoring the fact Emma had paid her own way since she was 18. Ryan finally muttered, "Maybe you could just tone it down a little, Em. It's not that big a deal." Lily smirked and typed something on her phone, later posting, "Family drama LOL. with a laughing emoji. Emma left that night with her hands shaking and her heart pounding. Over the next weeks, her parents called again and again. Every conversation started with, "We just want what's best," and ended with pressure to make her wedding smaller. Emma gave the same answer each time. "No. I'm not shrinking my wedding to make Ryan feel bigger." 2 months before the big day, her mother called with a cold, final tone Emma had never heard before. "If you insist on this spectacle," her mother said, "your father and I will not attend. We can't support such selfishness." Emma felt the words hit like a punch. "You're not coming to my wedding because I won't make it smaller." Her mother replied, "We're choosing not to enable your ego. When you're ready to put family first, we can talk." Emma hung up without saying goodbye. She cried for hours on the couch while David held her, whispering, "We'll still have a beautiful day. I promise. We'll fill that room with people who actually love you." When the invitations went out, her parents returned theirs with a neat tick in the decline box and no written message. She kept that card in her desk drawer, a tiny square of paper that felt heavier than stone. Some relatives called, confused. "Your mom says you uninvited them," Aunt Grace said, voice shaking. "That's a lie," Emma answered. "They chose not to come." The wedding day itself was magical and painful at the same time. The ballroom glowed with white roses, glass, and candlelight. Emma walked down the aisle on Aunt Grace's arm, her heart full and broken all at once. David waited at the front, tears on his cheeks, smiling like she was the only person in the world. They read their own vows. Emma promised never to make herself small again, just to keep other people comfortable. David promised to be her partner, not her judge. After they kissed, the guests cheered so loudly that for a few moments, Emma forgot about the 2 empty chairs at the family table. The reception was perfect. Speeches made everyone laugh and cry. David's dad danced with Emma instead of her own father and whispered, "If I'd had a daughter, I'd hope she'd be just like you." But later, when the father-daughter dance song played anyway, Emma slipped out to the balcony alone, her chest aching. Life after the honeymoon settled into a new rhythm. Emma and David moved into their house in Coral Gables, a bright, modern place with a pool and a small garden where Emma planted roses. She went back to work, throwing herself into a big launch for a new heart rhythm drug. David returned to long days and surgery. Her parents stayed silent. Ryan's cheap invitation arrived in the mail, forwarded from her old apartment. She dropped it straight into the trash. "Do you want to talk to them at all?" David asked gently one night. Emma shook her head. "They made their choice. I walked down the aisle without them. I'm done chasing people who don't want to show up for me." They hosted Thanksgiving at their home with David's family and close friends. The house was full of laughter, spilled gravy, and kids running everywhere. Emma looked around the table and thought, "This is my real family now." In early December, the peace cracked. Emma's phone lit up with Mom while she and David were cooking dinner. She almost let it go to voicemail, then answered. "Hello, Mom." Her mother's voice sounded tight and high. "We need to talk about Ryan's wedding. It's in 2 weeks and there's a situation." Emma kept her tone flat. "What kind of situation?" Her mother sighed dramatically. "The venue fell through, the event planner quit, the caterer cancelled. Lily is having a breakdown. Ryan is overwhelmed. The wedding is falling apart." Emma turned off the stove and leaned on the counter. "That sounds rough. Why are you telling me?" The answer came rushed. "Because we need your help. You organized such an elaborate wedding. You know people. You're good at this." Emma let out a short, sharp laugh. "You skipped my wedding. You called it selfish and wrong. And now, suddenly, I'm the only one who can save Ryan's." Her mother replied, "This is about family, Emma. Blood is blood. You can be petty, or you can be the bigger person." Emma pressed the phone tighter to her ear. "The bigger person," she repeated quietly. "Mom, I have been the bigger person my whole life. I helped Ryan pay his rent. I lent him money for his failed businesses. I listened to you praise him for doing nothing while I killed myself working. You skipped my wedding because I wouldn't make it small enough for him. And now you want me to fix his mess." Her mother's voice turned icy. "You're twisting things. This is your brother's happiness. You're being cruel." Emma felt something inside her harden. "No. I'm saying no. Ryan's wedding is not my responsibility." There was a sharp inhale on the other end. "You are heartless, Emma. I don't know what happened to the daughter I raised." Emma swallowed. "She grew up," she said, and ended the call. The silence afterward rang louder than her mother's anger. The next few days, her phone became a war zone. Her father called, sounding tired and stern. "Your mother is very upset. You're tearing this family apart over a grudge." Emma answered calmly, "No, Dad. I'm just no longer cleaning up Ryan's messes." Ryan left long, breathless voicemails. Please, I know Mom is intense, but the wedding is really falling apart. Just talk to the vendors for me? You're good with that stuff." Emma deleted each message without replying. At lunch that Thursday, Sarah slid into the booth across from her. "Your mom called me," Sarah said, not bothering with small talk. Emma groaned. "Of course she did. What did she say?" "That you're refusing to help poor Ryan and the whole family is suffering because you're jealous." Emma stared at her glass of water. "Did she mention that they boycotted my wedding?" "Nope," Sarah said. "So I mentioned it for her." Emma looked up, hope flickering. "You did?" Sarah shrugged. "I told her your wedding was beautiful, and I noticed she wasn't there. I also told her it was wild to ask for help from the daughter you refused to support." Emma laughed weakly. "How did she take that?" "She hung up." Sarah leaned forward. "Listen, Em. You don't owe them this. You don't owe them your time, money, skills, nothing. They chose Ryan over you again. You get to choose you." That night, Aunt Grace called. "Sweetheart, your mother has been ringing everyone in the family," she said. "She's telling people you're destroying Ryan's wedding out of spite." Emma sighed. "Of course she is." Grace lowered her voice. "Most of us aren't buying it. We were at your wedding. We saw those empty chairs. But I overheard your mother talking yesterday. She said if you won't help willingly, she'll make you cooperate." "It didn't sound good, Emma. Be careful." After that call, Emma sat on the couch staring at the wall. "What could they possibly do?" she muttered. "I'm an adult. They have no control over me." Still, the unease stayed. Finally, she dialed Ryan. He picked up quickly. "Emma, thank God." "Look, did you really spend the wedding money on other stuff?" she cut in. There was a pause. "How do you know about that?" "Mom told me. Car, trip, furniture. Is it true?" Ryan exhaled. "It wasn't like that. Lily's car died. We needed something reliable. The apartment looked like a dorm room. We thought we'd catch up on the deposits later, but time got away from us." Emma repeated, "Time got away from you." She shook her head. "Ryan, you had months." "I know, okay? I messed up. But I'm begging you, Em. You know vendors. You pulled off an amazing wedding. Please help me." Emma closed her eyes. "No. This is what consequences look like. You chose how to use that money. Now you live with it." On Saturday afternoon, the doorbell rang. Emma opened it and froze. Her father stood there, shoulders slightly hunched, a careful look on his face. "Dad," she said. "Can I come in?" he asked quietly. She hesitated, then stepped aside. He walked slowly through the hallway, pausing at the framed wedding photos. Emma in her dress, David smiling at her like she was his whole world. He swallowed. "You looked beautiful," he said softly. "I saw the album. Grace showed me." Emma crossed her arms. "You didn't see it in person." He winced. "I know. And I'm sorry, Emma. I am so sorry I wasn't there. Your mother convinced me we were doing the right thing. We weren't. It was cruel." Emma stared at him, torn between anger and an old, childish hope. "Why are you telling me this now?" she asked. He shifted, uncomfortable. "Because your mother is planning to come to your office this week. She wants to cause a scene." Emma's stomach dropped. "A scene?" He nodded. "She wants to tell your bosses you're sabotaging your brother's wedding, that you're vindictive. She thinks if she embarrasses you at work, you'll give in." Emma felt heat rushing up her neck. She's going to attack my job? My career? She's not thinking clearly, her father said. She's tied her pride to Ryan's wedding. She's bragged about it to everyone. Now it's falling apart and she's desperate. Emma paced the living room. "Did you try to stop her?" "Yes," he said quickly. "We fought about it. I told her we had no right to ask you for help after missing your wedding. She wouldn't listen. That's why I came. You deserve to know." Emma stopped pacing and looked at him. "Thank you for warning me," she said stiffly. But an apology and a warning don't erase years of choosing Ryan over me.
He lowered his eyes. I know. And I don't expect forgiveness.
I just didn't want you blindsided. On Monday morning, Emma went straight to her boss's office before any meetings. Veronica, a sharp, calm woman in her 50s, looked up from her laptop. Everything okay? I need to tell you something before it becomes a problem, Emma said, sitting down. She explained everything: the skipped wedding, the pressure to shrink it, Ryan's disaster, the money they spent, the calls, her father's visit, her mother's plan. Veronica listened without interrupting, fingers steepled under her chin. When Emma finished, she braced herself for judgment.
Instead, Veronica nodded.
Thank you for telling me. If your mother shows up, we'll have security remove her. We'll also make it clear to everyone that this is a personal issue and does not involve your performance. Emma blinked. You believe me?
I've worked with you for years, Veronica said. You're one of the most reliable people I know.
I've also overheard enough phone calls to suspect your family leans on you too much. You're allowed to have boundaries, Emma. 3 days later, Emma was in a high-level meeting presenting the final marketing plan for the heart rhythm drug. Charts glowed on the screen behind her as she walked the room through their launch strategy. She was mid-sentence when the door opened and the receptionist stepped in, looking flustered. I'm so sorry to interrupt, she said. There's a woman in the lobby refusing to leave.
She's shouting your name, Emma.
Security is on the way, but Emma's heart sank.
My mother, she whispered.
Veronica glanced at her.
Go.
We'll pause here. Emma walked down the hallway, her legs heavy. In the lobby, her mother stood in the center of the room, face red, voice raised. She's ruined her brother's wedding on purpose, she yelled. She's jealous, she's cruel, Mom. Stop, Emma said sharply. Heads turned. Her mother spun around, eyes bright with anger and something like triumph.
I need to speak to your manager, she said loudly.
They should know what kind of person you've hired.
People at the front desk stared.
A few co-workers Emma recognized hovered nearby, pretending not to listen.
Emma kept her voice steady. Mom, this is my workplace. You need to leave.
Not until someone listens, her mother said. My son's wedding is in ruins because of her.
She refused to help. She's tearing our family apart.
Security arrived, 2 guards who looked both firm and uncomfortable.
You'll have to leave now, one said. Her mother jerked her arm away. I am her mother, she snapped.
I am trying to save my family. Emma felt anger and humiliation twist together in her chest.
You're not saving anything, she said quietly.
You're just proving why I stay away. Her mother's face crumpled, then hardened again. You'll regret this, Emma. You'll regret choosing your pride over us. The guards gently but firmly led her toward the door. Her voice echoed down the hall as she shouted, You're not my daughter anymore. Emma stood frozen until Veronica appeared beside her. My office, Veronica said softly.
Now.
Behind closed doors, Emma sat trembling in the chair opposite Veronica's desk. She expected a lecture. Instead, Veronica poured a glass of water and slid it across. Are you okay?
Emma nodded weakly. I'm so sorry. I know that was a mess.
Your mother created that mess, Veronica said. Not you. Emma explained again, more slowly this time, filling in details. Veronica listened, then said, I'll send a message to the leadership team. I'll tell them you're dealing with family harassment, and any contact from your mother should go straight to security. This incident will not affect your standing here.
You're valuable, Emma. Don't let her make you doubt that. Tears burned Emma's eyes. Thank you, she whispered. Veronica smiled kindly.
Go home for today. Rest. Tomorrow, you can come back and finish that excellent presentation. That evening, Emma told David everything. When she finished, her voice low and tight, she said, I'm done being the bigger person, David.
I don't just want distance.
I want them to feel what I felt.
He looked at her carefully.
What are you thinking?
She took a deep breath.
I'm thinking. I'm going to offer to save Ryan's wedding. And then I'm going to take it all away. David stared at her, unsure if she was joking. Emma, that's nuclear.
She met his eyes steadily. They skipped my wedding. They told people I uninvited them. My mother tried to ruin my career. They have taken and taken from me for years.
I'm done being the responsible one who fixes everything. David placed his hands on her shoulders. If you do this, there's no going back.
There is nothing to go back to, she replied. The next morning, Emma called her mother. She softened her voice, pretended to sound tired and regretful. Mom, I'm sorry about the scene at my office. I shouldn't have reacted like that.
There was a pause, then her mother's voice turned warm, relieved, almost smug.
Oh, sweetheart. I knew you didn't mean to be cruel.
Family is family. Emma forced a smile she didn't feel. I've been thinking, let me help with the wedding. I don't want things to fall apart.
Her mother gasped. Emma, thank you. I knew you'd come around.
Emma murmured, tell me what you need, already knowing exactly what she planned to do. For the next 5 days, Emma became the miracle worker they all wanted. She called venues she knew, convinced a small hotel ballroom to take Ryan's booking on short notice.
She found a caterer who owed her a favor.
She arranged flowers, a DJ, a photographer, even a last-minute wedding dress for Lily. Everyone sang her praises. Her mother called daily with sugary sweetness. This is the Emma I raised. Her father emailed long, emotional thank yous. Ryan cried on the phone, saying, I don't deserve you. Lily sent her a gift basket labeled Best Sister-in-Law Ever. Emma played the role flawlessly, smiling, reassuring, pretending. She paid deposits with her own card to make the setup believable. David watched her work with a mix of awe and worry. You're really doing this, he said quietly as she confirmed the cake order.
Yes, she answered simply. They need to believe completely.
That's the point. By Thursday night, everything was in place. A perfect wedding built in 6 days. And Emma held all the strings. On Friday morning, she started pulling those strings out. One by one, she called every vendor. I'm canceling the booking. Yes, I understand the deposit is non-refundable. No, there will be no reschedule.
By noon, the venue was gone. By 1, the caterer. By 2, the flowers.
By 3, the photographer. She cancelled the DJ last, leaving nothing but an empty calendar on her screen. It's done, she told David, voice steady. Tomorrow, they'll wake up to nothing. That night, she drafted an email addressed to her parents, Ryan and Lily. It was brief, direct, impossible to misunderstand.
She scheduled it to send at 8 a.m. the next morning.
Then she turned off her phone, climbed into bed beside David, and slept more peacefully than she had in months. At 8 a.m. on Saturday, the morning of Ryan's wedding, the email went out. I have cancelled every arrangement I made. There is no venue, no catering, no flowers, no photographer, no music.
I did this intentionally. You boycotted my wedding. You demanded I shrink myself. Now you feel what I felt. Do not contact me again. We are no longer family. Emma.
The chaos that followed was explosive. When Emma finally turned her phone back on around 9 a.m., it lit up with missed calls and frantic messages.
Her mother's voicemails were shrieks of rage. You are evil.
You have ruined everything.
Her father's were cold. This is beyond forgiveness.
You have gone too far. Ryan's messages were the most dramatic. First panicked. Emma? Please tell me you didn't really do this. Then furious. You're jealous. You're disgusting. And finally a broken whisper. I have nothing now. Emma listened to every message with an expressionless calm.
She saved none of them.
Around midday, Sawa called, laughing breathlessly. Emma,
oh my God. It's all over Facebook.
People showed up to the ballroom and there's nothing there.
Your mom is melting down publicly.
You're a legend. Emma didn't laugh, but she smiled.
Aunt Grace called next.
Sweetheart, your mother is hysterical.
She says you're dead to her.
Emma replied, she said that years ago. Now she's finally living it.
Grace sighed. They earned this, Emma.
They really did. A week later, Emma saw the photos online. Ryan and Lily had managed a rushed, awkward ceremony at a park gazebo with about 30 guests.
No flowers. No music.
No decorations. Just a folding table, a borrowed speaker, and a friend reading vows from his phone. It was small, sloppy, and painfully ordinary, the exact wedding her parents had tried to force on her.
Emma felt no regret. No guilt. Just a calm sense of completion.
Months passed. Her mother sent one final email formally cutting her out of their will. Emma replied with a single word, agreed.
How life flourished.
Her career soared. She became vice president, then started her own consulting firm helping young women rise in STEM fields. She and David bought a vacation home, traveled the world, and later raised children who grew up knowing their mother was strong and unbreakable. Years later, Emma encountered her father at a conference. He apologized, quietly, honestly. She forgave him, but did not reconnect. As he walked away, Emma felt only peace. She had stopped begging for love from people who resented her strength.
She built a life without making herself smaller.
And that, she knew, was the true revenge.